Hey everybody, welcome back. Devin the OG, the original Grognard. And yeah, I know, it's been a while since I've sat down and gone over any games or played anything, but I had something come across my desk a couple, 3 days ago that I figured, yeah, this is probably a good time to kind of show this off. We're looking back at the computer, and we're looking at Avalon Digital and SGS's Strategic Game Studios Day of Infamy, Battle for Oahu, 1941. Well, wait a minute. Wasn't that just Pearl Harbor? Yes, it was Pearl Harbor. However, this is a hypothetical situation where the Japanese followed up the air raid on Pearl Harbor with an actual invasion of Oahu itself. So everybody who's watched the channel for any length of time should know that I love hypotheticals. I love what ifs. So this kind of tickled my fancy bone immediately. You may remember Digital Avalon Digital. They did the Carrier Battles of Guadalcanal that I highlighted about a year ago, and their SGS series. They've got several games for the SGS series. I know they just released Africa Corps Tunisia, and then of course they've got Africa Corps itself, Halls of Montezuma, Winter War. They've got a couple, three other titles. They've also got several block game conversions that they've done. Richard III. Julius Caesar, which is the Civil War, the Roman Civil War, Caesar against Pompey. And what's the other one? Because I was just playing it the other day. Hammer the Scots. I don't know why I always forget that. Hammer the Scots. All right, so go over and go check them out on Steam. They got a lot of really good games. Look into them. But you're not going to find Day of Infamy. This is kind of a beta and an alpha release. They really haven't you can't even find this on the store yet. I mean, this is still how early access, and the work is still being done on this. So what you're going to see in game may not necessarily represent what is actually going to show up on your screen, because like I said, still beta, still playtest. So let's go ahead and jump right into this. And right now there's just one scenario for us to play. I don't know if there's going to be more scenarios, because I mean, it's all the fighting's on Oahu. It's kind of a smaller map, so I don't know if you can work more scenarios in. But you know, this game event card allows full replayability thanks to numerous various situations that create the diplomatic, military, political, or economic fields, and that is true. We'll get into that. Oahu 1941 complete campaign scenario starting December 7th in the morning, just after the Japanese first strike on Pearl Harbor until December 10th. 16 turns with 6 hours each. Let's go ahead and play both sides just so there's no confusion and I can show each side through the first couple turns. So let's just go ahead and start. You can play the SGS games, play by email against your friends too if you want to. There is that option. Got a really cool splash screen here. Japanese Empire. Options. Before launching the campaign, the Japanese may opt to change the initial battle plans and means by playing one or more of the cards they will draw hereafter. They receive 3 cards offering 3 different landings, east, north, and south. East landing is easiest. American defenses terrain on the way to target can be tougher. North can slightly more dangerous because of the reefs, but local defenses are weaker. South landing is almost instantly on your targets, but this is where American defenses are strongest and you can expect heavy losses. Each has a different cost in victory points, will be deducted from your starting total of 15. Well, it's actually 20 if you take a look up here. Again, still it's early access beta playtest. When one of these cards is played, the other 2 are eliminated. 4 other option cards, also with VP costs or gains, can be proposed. Their descriptions and effects are self-explanatory, so let's go in and take a look at them. So, all right, we've got North Landing. It's going to cost us 5 victory points. Japanese landing will take place in the north near Halawea. Some troops will be delayed by the reefs and others arrive late or will lose 1 movement point. South landings cost 7 victory points. Japanese landings will take place in the south in front of Pearl Harbor. Some troops will lose 1 movement factor due to difficult landing operations, but more dangerous losses will be suffered due to expected coastal artillery defensive fire from the U.S. on the first 2 turns. May not want to do that one. And then the east landing, start option, costs 0 victory points. Japanese landing will take place in the east near Kanaha. And of course, here we are back to my infamous ability to butcher foreign names, and yeah, so apologies. I've never really been to Hawaii. I have a hard time with the names. I'm sorry. So let's go with the East Landing. Start of the campaign, battle is starting. You're leading Japanese forces attempt to capture Oahu from the Americans, really seriously wreak havoc on the enemy base. Head of command of the military forces count rely on 2 strong regiments, the Navy and Army, to reach your objectives. Your total forces are on the 3 landing beaches you have selected, and the opponent is stunned on the first devastating blow suffered during the initial air attacks. You'll have advantage of surprise. Strong air force is busy on the first turn with the second wave attack on Pearl Harbor and unavailable on turn 1, but will support you greatly afterwards, except at night, until they run out of fuel and bombs. Make great use of them. Be aware of potential appearance of the United States Navy carriers off the island. If they manage to sink airships, you will suffer a strategic defeat. Your real enemy is time, as you must eliminate or destroy as much as you can until you run out of supplies. So yeah, that's kind of the point. Okay, so we're going with the east landing, and that get rid of the other 2 landings. So we're going to be landing on the eastern shoreline. We have got 4 cards that we can modify things with a little bit. Surprise Fort Raid. Special assault groups makes a raid on an unsuspecting garrison of Fort Ruger. Fort Ruger's down here in the south. I don't think we're going to go with that one. Limited gamble. We'll cancel all the non-landing options. So basically, if I just want 3 bonus victory points, I can throw that away, but I won't get the options for the other cards. More battleships. Japanese Navy assigns 2 more battleships, Haruna and Congo, to the raid. Provide extra naval gunfire support unit and cards. Or artillery. 2 extra artillery batteries are assigned to the landing force. I think we're going to go with that one. Yeah, there we go. That's the only. I don't want to go with the other 2. So that cost me some victory points right there. There's the cards I drew. Motivation, radio, and close in. And those go into my hand. And I don't have any cards to play. Reinforcement summaries. Lots of Japanese units on here. I should probably go over a little bit of what all these numbers mean. All right, so, and this is universal across the SGS game series. So you look at a unit. And so you've got nationality, obviously, the actual unit, 2nd Curry, Special Naval Landing Force, Japanese Naval Infantry, were just basically just a bunch of soldiers that they gave a rifle to and sent out onto the beach. I mean, they weren't trained like our Marines were or anything, but yeah, legit, they're just sailors they gave a rifle to and said, go fight. The combat factors for attack and defense. Combat is basically each unit once during combat. Sometimes, occasionally, units will get 2 attacks, but they got to be special units. Roll a dice. You roll equal to or less than your attack value on attack, or if you're on defense, you roll a d10. Roll under the defense value, which for this unit is 4 on both. And we'll score a hit. And hits are marked by these white strength points right here. So these guys can take 5 hits before they're completely eliminated. The arrow is, of course, their movement points. So you can kind of look at a glance, 4 attack, 4 defense, 5 movement, and how many hits they have left. Plus, the purple triangle is their morale value, which is you take all the units together and kind of just average their morale together. You got machine gun unit. Now, in this game, machine gun units count as artillery. So they have special attack rules on the artillery. All right, so let's just go ahead. And that's where they're landing. So I don't think I can move. Nope, I'm not moving those yet. The United States are going to... It brings up a little summary of what happened since the last turn. You'll notice the little treasury right here. Some of the SGS games that span longer periods of time, like Halls of Montezuma, which covers like 2 years. There is an income mechanic in the game, so you can buy reinforcements or buy cards, buy a whole bunch of other special stuff. Since this only covers like 6 days, we don't have to worry about finances. What's on the field is what's on the field. You're not going to be able to buy any reinforcements or get them to you anytime soon. So, start of the campaign. Americans have been attacked. Yada yada yada. Okay, now the American options. Now, Americans have got kind of 3 options, kind of like that the Japanese did. Japanese had the option north, east, or south beaches. The Americans have spread defense, which is the historical one, forces covering more or less equally the various possible attack sites. Concentrated leaves only minimal forces on the shorelines. Keep your main forces concentrated in 2 main groups near the center of the island. And then the reactive defense, which is slightly better than the shoreline. Better the shorelines than the previous one, and you'll get 4 groups of reactionary forces, but which better to counterattack with. Each one of them costs different victory points, and then the Americans get 4 option cards as well. I think we'll actually get a chance to see those. Yeah, see here's all their cards. So what are they going to? Oh, I'm playing both sides, so let's go. Okay, let's see. Spread defense. Troops of 2 army divisions spread. Yeah, let's go with the spread defense. There's a reactive defense that costs you 10 victory points, where you've got more of a reactionary force in the middle. And then concentrated defense will cost you 7 points. But yeah, we'll go with a spread defense. And as soon as you play that, the other two defenses go away. Now we've got these 4 other cards that we can play. Sub Patrols, which will have submarines get a chance to attack the Japanese ships. That'll cost us 5 victory points. Minefields, we get a few more obstacles and trench lines. Effective air defense, which costs us 8 victory points, and we get 3 extra P-40 squadrons. Or we could just say nothing to worry about and gain 3 victory points. I like going with the sub patrols, so let's go with the sub patrol. Now it doesn't get rid of these 2 other cards, so I guess maybe technically you can play them in later turns, but I've never tried that. I usually just tend to discard them. And then we draw machine guns, obstacles, and dense smoke. Okay. And we are at our effective, we're under our hand draw, so we don't have to discard. Okay. Japanese. Woo. Again, effects of what happened from last turn. Let's see. Naval bombardment. Japanese fleet has to be in the close box. Japanese battleships are close enough to deliver naval gunfire support. Since we're landing on the east, that may be a good thing. Aerial recon. A lot of the Japanese cards are reconnaissance in nature and give you intelligence. Banzai, yeah, there we go. At least 1 infantry engaged in the battle. Japanese troops launch a deadly exchange for both sides. Up to 5 Japanese units re-roll failed dice. Ooh. But they automatically suffer 1 hit. All right, that's cool. And I do have to discard 1, or I can play 1. Let's go ahead and play that. And let's go ahead and take a look at that unit right there. And so since we did a recon unit, we can look into that stack. You can't look into the opponent's stacks. But we know that there's 1st U.S. Marine Defense Battalion. There's a machine gun company there and a whole bunch of trenches. Okay, so that at least lets us know what's there. And then we're done with the card play. Reinforcements. The Akagi and the fleet shows up. And basically that's right up here. The Japanese fleet, when they're at the distant position, are at this one right here. So all the aircraft are going to be striking from out here. And it kind of takes up, several movement points to get closer to the island. Now you can move them in close if you've got the card, like we saw. I had pulled the card for the Japanese earlier, the Japanese fleet close, which reduces the flight time, which allows the aircraft to get deeper into the island to be able to conduct strikes. Now, if you also notice, we went with the eastern invasion, but there are also some units that ended up landing on the North Beach. Not sure why it happens like that. It just does. Like I said, early access. But let's take a look. Let's take a look at the Japanese fleet. Let's see. We got the Shokaku, the Hiryu, the Soryu, Juikaku. Yeah, that's those are 4 pretty beefy carriers right there. Oh yeah, and the Akagi and the Kaga. So yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fleet carriers and a light carrier. Yeah, that's more than we faced at Midway. And so for the air movement, let's see, radio, examine 2 enemy units. Yeah, don't worry about that. Okay, the aircraft couldn't do anything because they're rearming after the second follow attack on Pearl Harbor, which is right down here, because here's Pearl Harbor right here. Ford Island, the Navy Yard, Hickam Field. Really good, really well done map, in my opinion. Of course, you got Honolulu here, and Fort Armstrong, DeRussy, Fort Ruger, and everything on the east. I'm not even going to try to pronounce some of the province names. But, all right, so land movement. So, again, click on it. I've got all these units. And, let's just go right onto the beach. Is there a card we can play? I could, yeah, I don't want to play the radio. Okay, so land movement. That's going to result in a battle. Now, when you click on a stack and drag it, you'll either get red, which means you can't move there at all, or you'll get green, which means you can move there, or orange. If you move there, it'll trigger an attack. So how do we want to do this? Let's take these guys and hit Hela. And let's take this big old stack and hit that province right there. And you can tell that there's going to be an attack there because you got the little explosions right there. Now, remember, when we get into combat, it's all both sides rolling dice at each other. So actually, that's all. Well, no, I do have one more movement up here. Try to get to Halawea. Okay, we'll go there, and then we'll try to grab that. And you can see, we've got a victory point location right there. So we're going to want to capture that. So let's go ahead and end the turn. And then we can go through each battle individually. And like I said, well, before we get to that, you'll have a chance. Each side will have a chance to play cards from their hand. Um, let's see. Operation is crucial to the Empire. Japanese morale +1. I don't think I'll need it. Bonsai. Don't think I need it either. A lot of the combat, a lot of what determines who wins the combat comes down to morale. And you'll see these little diamonds in the upper left and upper right hand corner for each side, represented by the flag. The higher the morale, the better. As you inflict hits on the opponent, they'll take morale losses, and once morale goes under 0, there's a chance that the units will rout away. I will tell you from playing with previous experience, U.S. are going to lose a lot of battles. That's just they're under shock, they're under surprise. Their morale is not the greatest early on. They get chased off the battlefield a lot, but that's okay because you don't need to win every battle. You just need to inflict as many casualties on the Japanese as you can to bleed them down because they're not getting any reinforcements. What the Japanese have got is what they've got. That's it. Ain't nothing coming to save them. So let's take a look at what we're looking at. So remember, the first number is the attack value, and you can kind of tell what number you're going to be rolling against because whatever number is highlighted. So the Japanese are on the attack, so they're going to be using their attack number, which is going to be 5, 4, 4, 4, 4. The U.S. are on defense, which is going to be for the obstacles a 0, and then a 3 and a 3. So you're going to be rolling that number or less, and there's a couple modifiers that go into that sometimes. And every time you successfully roll a hit, it's going to inflict a hit on the opponent, and it will randomly determine where the casualties go. So I don't want to play any cards. So, and the defender has machine guns. One enemy unit receives an extra hit in this battle. No, I don't think we're going to play that card yet. And you can tell which cards can be played because they're going to be highlighted. And if you don't have any cards that can be played, then it's not going to give you the option to play cards. So the attacker always plays a card first, then the defender. I'm going to do that. All right. And then, oops, stop it. And hit fight. And now the Japanese are going through their attacks. And we're seeing the dice rolls. And anytime you see a yellow number pop up, that usually indicates a hit. So the Japanese hit 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, which inflicted 1 casualty there, but caused them to fall back. And if you notice, my morale is at -1, but managed to stay in the fight. So yeah, let's go ahead another round. 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit, 4 hit, 5. And no hits. So the Japanese chased me off, and they are pursuing, which basically allows them a free round of attacks. 2, 3, 4 more hits. That's not good. Victory, Japanese Empire. But hey, you're hitting the beach. Yeah, you're going to kind of assume. Now you can do a breakthrough attack. I'm not really sure sometimes how the breakthrough works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Oh, it allowed me to break through that time. Normally it doesn't allow me. So let's go to the next battle, which is the follow-up breakthrough attack. We're chasing the Americans. Again, we've still got the same cards. We're not going to play any of those. The defender cards, not going to play any of those. And then fight. Lots of hits, no hits from mine. Japanese chase me off again. They get their pursuit round, which allows them a free round of attacks. Victory to the Japanese Empire. No big surprise. So if you want to see what happened, the Japanese landed here. As you can see, it's no longer a supply zone, and it's now captured. It's controlled by the Japanese, and they broke through to here, which is, as you can see, it's Japanese controlled. And if we could move those markers off there, we'd see that it's also would have the Japanese flag there, and you can kind of see the no supply right there. But that's what that happened with that one attack. So let's go with the next one, and that'll be right there. Again, play cards. Attacker doesn't want to play any. Defender doesn't want to play any. And then we just go through the combat again. Now you can adjust the pause between rounds in the dice animation machine. I like keeping it a little bit low because I'm kind of slow sometimes. So it's easier for me to see. But then again, hey, like I said, hey, we're driven off again. And the Japanese are pursuing. I took a couple casualties. Can they break through? Yes, they can. Let's see. Can we break through to... Yay, we can break through to there. So we're going to pursue the Americans. Again, attack cards, defense cards. Not going to play any. Not this early in the game. And the Japanese are just... Well, I didn't do... Well, I got 2 hits that time. But it was enough to rout me again. Like I said, Americans are going to take a lot of casualties. So, but the point is just to bleed the Japanese dry. So, victory, Japanese Empire. Okay, so now the next one again, and all the battles are like this. Play in the cards. Once you got an idea what your cards are in like the first 1 or 2 attacks. Artillery preparation. So something a little bit different. Like I said, machine guns in this game act as artillery, so they have a free fire beforehand. They missed, and then we go in the defenders cards. And just go into the fight. Again, rolling as normal. 3 hits. Oh, I got 3 hits back. That's nice. But since I took the hits and took the morale, I still ended up routing, and they're pursuing me. Then again, it's not really surprising when I'm outnumbered like 3-1. So, now the thing is, machine gun units or artillery units cannot breakthrough. So let's leave one guy behind and try to do a breakthrough right there. We don't want to leave the artillery all by itself just in case the sneaky Americans get around and behind and knock out the artillery units. That's why I left 1 unit behind. And, whoops. 3 hits. And I inflicted 2 hits. But 2 of them were onto the same unit, so that's good. But again, I routed. Morale is very important. Since I'm taking 1 or 2 hits, it's dropping my morale below 0, and I'm failing my route roll, and they're running away. So any cards that you can get that can improve the Americans' morale is huge help. So we got the pursuit round. Just 1 hit that time. Not bad. Okay, and then let's see, where's the last battle we have? Oh, it's up here. So go ahead and click that. Not going to throw any cards. Not going to throw any cards. Two hits. That'll probably be enough to... Huh? My morale fell under 1, but I managed to make my route roll, so I am going to stay in combat to do... I can either retreat or fight again. Let's just go ahead and retreat. I'm outnumbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-1. Let's see. They're going to break through. Let's see. Break through. Yeah, they are breaking through. Try to overrun the airfield. Ooh, bunch of stuff this time. You know what? Let's do a bonsai attack here for this one, because it is an airfield and we do want to overrun the airfield. Motivation. Yeah, the Americans have got a morale at 2. Japanese have... let's throw our motivation behind this one as well. Now, the U.S. machine guns. 1 enemy unit receives an extra hit this turn. You know what? That extra hit can go towards the morale, affecting their morale. Maybe we can push them back. But first of all, the aircraft, of course, they're going to be hitting at 0 and a 2, so 9, 6. Yeah, they didn't do anything, but they took 2 hits. I wonder why that is. Oh, that must have been from the machine guns. Okay, and then we have our fights. 2, 3, 4 hits. And those hits always go to obstacles first. A couple of my guys retreated. Battle continues, but yeah, that morale didn't hit. Yeah, my morale dropped below 0, but I still got my fighters, so maybe my fighters... Nope, I guess not. 3, 4, 5 hits. No hits. Site is routed. Go into pursuit mode. And taking more hits and more hits. Victors. And then quick rundown of all the battles that happen. How many hits, how many panics, how many eliminations. And then, yeah. you got a siege list. Anytime you're going after an important building or important location or something, you got to put it to siege level. And usually, if there's no defenders there, you're gonna win the siege no problem. Surrender level 8, so you got to roll an 8 or less. So you got a pretty good chance of doing that. And I actually think that'll wipe out the B-17s and the P-40s there, or they might automatically rebase. I don't remember. Halawea destroyed. Halawa rendered an unoperative. Japanese 1 victory point. And that is the end of the turn. Now into the U.S. Now, victories 0. Defeats 8. 1 siege. 23 casualties. You can see exactly who took the casualties, where they were, and what the exact units are. Cards that were played on both sides. So if you're a card counter. And then again, like I said, since this is still being worked on, we don't have the full text and events for the submarines capturing the Japanese fleet. But my submarines did catch them. And we're going after the Akagi. And we missed the Akagi. Oh well. Would have been nice if we'd have caught the Akagi. And then we get this card automatically beginning of turn 1. At turn 3, we can move the fleet in. And then it tells us Holloway was destroyed. Then these are the cards I got this turn. Explosions, heavy smoke, and obstacles. Explosions I'm going to have to play this turn because it's a negative card for me. I have no choice in the matter. And you'll notice the cards that you have to play have got these purple shaded outlines to them. So I'm going to have to play Explosions, which U.S. morale is -1 this turn. We've already seen how bad U.S. morale is already. And then what we're going to... we got two obstacle cards. Let's go ahead and discard one of the obstacle cards. And reinforcements. And land movement. All right, so I got a bunch of land movement to do. Take a look-see. Let's see, should I keep these guys here or pull them back? Well, let's see. Keep those guys there. We want to defend that because it's an airfield. I don't think those guys, yeah, they're not going to have enough movement. Okay, so let's just pull these guys back. Since there's only one of them, let's take the 2 units from here that can move, get them up there. Because you got to remember, since it's the first turn, my units are shaken and unsure of what's going on. I've got some artillery. Oh, we got a bunch of units there. Okay, we need to start rushing these guys. Let's get them into the mountain pass. Take these guys and let's move them there. Try to take these 2 mountain passes and hold them. Let's see. Those guys are on Fort Island, so they're not going to be able to move. Don't want to move the machine guns by themselves. Let's take the 1 infantry. So low movement points. Okay. Let's take the machine gun. Let's take 3 of these guys. Join him with that unit. Let's take this guy. Join him with that unit. And what do we got up here? I've got 4 units there. Machine gun. Yeah, let's just go ahead and move these guys there. Try to rush as many of these guys south as I can to try to block those mountain passes. Oh, let's take these guys and move them south as well, because we've only got 1 stack of Japanese up here. And again, I can't see what's in there. So let's see, what do we got here? Guys are good on the... Let's see. Do I want to try to risk an attack sword? No, let's just kind of... Let's keep that big stack there. No, let's take a couple of the guys and shift there. And we'll take these guys, take a couple of these guys, and shift them in there. Plenty of guys in that space. We'll take these guys and move them there. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a cordon here, isolating these Japanese, and then a slight reserve in case they break through. Really don't want to attack any of them. The stacks are really huge right now. I could move these guys. Can I get them into there? Or do I want to give up? Yeah, I guess, yeah. I guess we'll pull back to there. We'll give up the beachhead. We'll give up fighting there. These guys are trapped. I mean, either way, I'm going to be jumping into an attack. But no, it's just, sorry, Marines. You're going to be holding out on that point on your own. Sorry. And then these guys, yeah, the Japanese could try to take these guys and sweep around this way, in which they do. I'm going to have to shift units down that way. But I think that's good for land movement, so no attacks on the American side. Everybody gets stacked together. Japanese Empire, we're going to turn 2. Nothing of any interest happened last turn. U.S. played 1 card. Explosions, they had to, -1 morale. Let's see, ooh, flamethrowers. Combat factors increased by +1 for your first round. That's cool. I hadn't seen that card before. Landing craft. Yeah, here we go. Japanese in the coastal region connected to landing sites. Landing craft are used to ferry troops and equipment along accessible landing sites on the coast. 1 Japanese stack, max 5, can be moved from a friendly coastal region to another. They are mobilized. That's not bad. I may take those guys on the North Beach and move them all out of there. Plans, accurate plans. In addition, friendly. Okay. 1 enemy stack can be examined, and units get 1. I got to discard 1. Let's get rid of that one because that's one of those. Yeah, let's get rid of that one because that's one of those beginning turn cards that I think are supposed to automatically be discarded. All right. And you ever want to know what the phases and the rest of the turn coming up? Turn start, card draw, airbase return, reinforcement. I mean, the list is right there of what's coming up. So we're on card draw. The next thing is going to be airbase return, then reinforcements, naval movement, yada, yada, yada. Reinforcements, now Japanese do get a bunch of dummy markers to kind of throw things off. Air movement. So now, yeah, bunches and bunches. Yeah, from the Akagi, the Kagu, all the Japanese carriers, carrier-based planes. So what you want to do is you want to choose which aircraft you want to break off from the main group, and then you hit this little create a new stack. And when it does it, it shows them right here, and then you just drag them to where you want them to bomb. So let's have these guys attack those poor Marines. And as you can see, they've got extra zones they have to go when the Japanese fleets are further out. If the Japanese were in closer, they could get a little bit further. And let's show you how far the Japanese planes can actually go from distance. Whoops. Whoops. Resume. They can kind of get pretty far, not too far. But if you move the Japanese carriers in closer, it's at least 2 or 3 more zones, so they'll be able to rage over most of the field. But let's put these guys up here. The Japanese need a little assistance up here, I think. Those are attack planes from the Kaga. Now from the Shokaku. Let's have these guys hit the Americans there. They're going to... little bit of a dogfight there. Japanese Empire won the dogfight, and the Americans were driven off. So let's take the Hiru stack, and let's commit them up here as well. The Japanese units up here are really unsupported. Let's take the Soryuz aircraft. And let's hit right here as well. And what do we got left? The Juikaku. So let's take the Juikaku and hit the units that are in that mountain pass. Okay, so that's going to be, and hit the artillery as well. Actually, I think the artillery is 1 space bang. All right. So air battle results. This is just the anti-aircraft and aircraft defense. Land movement. Okay, let's take these guys. Oh, yeah. Is there any cards I want to play? Radio, nope. Plans. No, I don't think we need any of those. So now it's movement. Move those guys into there. We can try to slowly make our way. Yeah, let's get up into there. These guys, yeah, let's push all these guys into here. We've got the machine guns. Oops. Oh, come on, grab. Kick. Let's move them right there. I'll at least take Kalea. And then up here, what do we want to do? We could pull these guys back and then... You know what? I think that's... No. You know, actually, I think I may leave these guys up here. I've got a huge force of Americans that are tied down holding these Japanese here. Should I try to advance? Or should I just hold? I think we're just hold. Yeah, we'll just hold. And let's go through the battles. First one, explosions. So yeah, my morale is -1. I got some P-36s there. But they've got their airstrikes from the Shokaku. So those are considered bombards. Wow, aircraft get lots of strikes. Bink, bink, bink. They drove my F-36s off, but the Shokaku still got, what are those, VALs? A6M zeros. A6M was a zero, I think. I'm not real up on my Japanese aircraft. But we got the land battle. Yep. They destroyed my obstacles, run away. Oh, my guys actually stayed in combat at morale at -2. Yeah, let's retreat, though. Again, outnumbered like 8-1. We don't need to absorb any more losses than we need to. Pursuit. Do we want to pursue? Because the Americans retreated into there. Or do we want to pursue down here? Or do we want to split our forces and take... Let's take some of the forces. Let's take 3 of the units and pursue. And let's just go to the next battle. This is going to be against obstacles. Japanese should walk right over these. Yeah, there's one hit. Battle continues, and there's the other hit, so it's going to eliminate the trenches. And I didn't do any damage to them. Okay, so on to the next battle. Into the mountains. May not have been the brightest idea. But we got Japanese bombarding anyways. Oh, the Japanese aircraft missed that turn. Yeah, shouldn't have attacked into the mountains, because now my attack values are 1, 2s. I'm sure that's because I'm attacking into mountains. Yeah, fine. I can keep going with these attacks. First round, yeah. The second round, they're in the mountains now, so lots of hits. I inflicted 1 hit, and of course, oh, even at -6, I stayed in the fight. Not bad. But, of course, he ran me off anyways. Like I said, Americans are going to take lots of losses, lots of casualties. Yes, we want to catch the American artillery. Or it won't let me. Oh, pursuit. No, so it won't let me pursue in mountains. Okay. I can break through into another zone, but it won't let me break through into there. That's fine. I don't need to break through into there. Come on. Where's the button to cancel it? Come on. I tend to usually always cancel it with no problem, but this time it's not letting me. Normally when I just click on some other area, it lets me get out of it. Don't want to break through. Turn all of them off, see if that works. Click in the zone that they're in. Stay in the zone. That makes sense. All right, up here we got airstrikes. No airstrikes, and they're just going to keep strafing me and bombing me until they run out of morale and run away. Hey, they didn't. Wow. I think that's the first battle I've had where I haven't taken any losses. Same thing is going to be here. Japanese are going to be bombing me, and it's just going to keep going because I've got no anti-aircraft until their morale runs out. Oh, and the United States gets routed even though they didn't take any casualties because morale drops by 1 every turn. More bombing here with aircraft. That's 1 hit. Another hit. And the Japanese win that one again. Trying to take out the Marines on that little peninsula. Again, it's just going to be strafing until... Yay! We held. Siege list. Okay, there's that one right there. Because it's a structure. And again, oh, dummy units. But I do have 3 infantry there. So, it basically, I need a 7. Oh, siege failed. Wow. They didn't manage to capture it. Oh, that's pretty good. The aircraft return home. Air defense move. Yep. I committed all the aircraft anyway, so it's not like I can move them again for defensive. United States turn 2. Again, highlights of everything. All victories, all defeats, all sieges, any casualties I took, and what cards were played since the last turn. Card draw. Hospital, that's good. Fort guns. At least 2 fort artillery in around forts. And wounded card, so get casualties back. 3 cards to discard. We'll get rid of the those starting cards. Let's see. Hospital, fort, heavy smoke. Close in. Well, let's get rid of obstacles. All right. Card draw over air movement. I got the PBYs. I got the P40s there. Well, let's go ahead. And I think we need to try to stop the Japanese. Yeah, it looks like they just when they overran Hawaii, it looks like they wiped out those aircraft that were there. That's disappointing. And I think that's all the aircraft I have. I don't think I have. Yeah, that looks like that's it. All right, land movement. All right, let's pull this guy back. Take this guy, move him there, because I have a feeling these 2 units are going to try to swing around. Take the U.S. Army unit, move them onto the arsenal. All right, these guys have got to get up. Okay. We got stacking them. What we got to worry about. What do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's take these guys and stick them in there. Let's take these guys and put them on the flank. How many guys? We got 4 guys there. Let's get them there. Oops. Let's see. Let's take the machine gun. Reinforce there. How many units we got here? Ooh, bunch of units here. So we'll pull them into Pearl City. What do we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we'll take a machine gun and a couple more units. Try to get them up. Looks like they're not going to get that far. These guys are going to go here. These guys are going to go there. What is this? Turn 2. It's the evening. I don't really have any decent cards. My morale is garbage. Do I push in or not? Well, let's try to find a stack that's got... Oh, those guys ain't got decent morale. Yeah, looking at 2s for morale all over the place. Let's move those guys up there to reinforce that area. Maybe in the morning we'll attack. I don't think we're going to attack anywhere. We'll take these guys. Let's keep him there. Actually, no, let's go ahead and move him there. And since I do know that he has those transports, trying not to completely strip my forces from the beaches. Now let's keep that guy at the naval yard. Okay, I think that's good. And that's gonna... Oh, yep. The aircraft attack. Now, let's go ahead and bombard them. And no hits the first round. Oh, at least one hit. And another hit. All right, well, let's go. Ooh, keep going, like that. Third hit. All right, so we got 3 hits on him, so that's something. Air defense move, none. Replacements. Let's see, hospital. You can put 1 unit back to full strength. And it gives us 1 victory point. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's see, this guy, right? Let's see. The problem is it doesn't really say where they are. They're all militia units. Or National Guard, Hawaiian National Guard. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do him. Get him back up to full strength. I do have another card I could play, which is Wound Care. You can put 1 unit back to full strength. Let's go ahead and do that one too. We'll have this guy. Again, Hawaiian National Guard. Go back to full strength. And then that's going to be turn end. And all right, so we're into turn 3. I've kind of gone pretty long. Just did want to give everybody a good chance to see what some of the action, the activity in this game is. So like I said, go to Steam, go check out all the SGS Strategic Game Studios games, and keep an eye out for this one. Hopefully, I would probably say it'll at least get announced within the next couple months, I'm thinking. So that's all we got. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms in the comment section below. I'll talk to everybody later. See ya!